Mrs Trish, back for another Compass Kids Church morning. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and I hope you're getting ready with your parents to come to drive-in church at 11. But before that, let's have our lesson. Today I've got a really cool story. It's just awesome and I love it. This one is about Jesus walking on the water, and it can actually be found in 3 places in Scripture. It can be found in Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 to 33, Mark chapter 6, verse 45 through 51, and John chapter 6, verse 16 through 20. So here's what it says. It says, Jesus told his disciples to go on ahead of him. Then Jesus walked up a mountainside to pray. Storm clouds filled the sky. Jesus could see the disciples in the boat. They were having trouble. I bet they were getting afraid. The wind whooshed. The waves sloshed. The boat was tossed about. Suddenly, the disciples saw someone walking on the water towards them. They thought it was a ghost. Jesus called out to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." The disciples still weren't sure. Peter said, "If you really are Jesus, let me walk out to you." Jesus replied, Come on, Peter." Peter stepped out of the boat. He began walking on the water towards Jesus. Then Peter looked at the wind and the waves, and he became afraid. Suddenly, he started to sink. "Lord, save me," Peter cried out. Jesus reached out and pulled Peter up. "Why didn't you trust me?" Jesus asked Peter. They climbed into the boat and the storm stopped. The disciples worshiped Jesus. They said, "Truly you are the Son of God." See, Peter, he was kind of like the leader, I think, of the disciples. He got in a lot of trouble. Sometimes, our mouths say stuff before our minds say, "Don't say that." That was kind of how Peter was. But Peter also wasn't afraid to take chances when it came to God. So when the storm was happening and everything was raging and all the disciples were scared and they saw Jesus and they thought it was a ghost, and I don't know about you, but I'd be real scared if I saw somebody walking on the water in the storm. But Peter seen him and said, "Jesus, if that's really you, tell me to come walk on the water with you." Well, you know what? If Jesus is walking on the water, then you can too with him. So he told Peter to come on out and walk on the water. And Peter did. It's one of the coolest miracles I think about. Peter walked on water, not walked in water. He walked on top of the water. But something happened, and it happens to us too. But Peter looked at everything else. He looked at the waves crashing, and he looked at the wind blowing, and he got scared. So you know what happened? He started to sink into the water. He was no longer walking on the water, but he was starting to drown. You know what? Sometimes that happens with us. Sometimes we come to church and we have all kinds of faith because we know Jesus is going to take care of stuff. But then you know what happens? We look around and we see stuff that scares us. And we see stuff we don't like. And we see stuff that maybe gets our eyes away from Jesus. And when that happens, we start to sink. But you know all you have to do? Just do what Peter did. Peter cried, "Jesus, help me." And that's all we have to do. When we're going through something, maybe John Paul, we have watched Pennywise a little too much, and maybe we get scared. And when we're scared, sometimes we run to mommy and daddy because that's who we run to when we're afraid. But sometimes in our being afraid, maybe all we have to do is go, "Jesus!" and he'll help us. So let's be like Peter. Let's have faith like Peter did, and let's get out and be able to walk on the water. Now, I don't really want you to go to water and try to walk on it, because Jesus is, well, he's there, but he didn't tell you to walk on that water. I mean, if you have something you're afraid of, pray and ask Jesus to help you with it. And guess what? He'll help you with it. All right, guys, you be good, and I'll see you next time. Love you.